Reports also confirmed that the Shiroro and Zungeru dams are releasing excess water.
15 states, 69 communities on high alert as potential flood disaster looms.
Nigeria must have a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. This should take place.
Nigeria calls for reforms at UN, demands a body fit for contemporary global challenges.
The time to act is now. Delaying means more lives lost.
Federal government mobilizes for an all-out assault on rabies, reaffirms commitment to meet global 2030 eradication goal. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. We sincerely apologize for starting the news late. I am Jumma Yusuf. With me tonight, Adiola Kame Akere, who will be joining us from Lagos. Benny Adams is here with some business news, and Francisca Bele, who is on standby to bring us some of the latest reports from the world of sports. Remember, this newscast is being streamed live on our social media handles, and remember, you can also fall back to watch the entire bulletin on playback on any of our online platforms displayed on the screen. Now let's get to our survey. What truly makes a leader worth following? Is it the promises they make for a better tomorrow or the integrity of their character today? So tonight on the news, we are putting that question to you. We want to know what you value most in choosing your political leader. Go to our online survey, choose from the options available. Let us know what you prioritize in a candidate in an election. Scan the QR code, click on the link and participate. Better still, you can head straight to our social media pages and there you can also have your say. Now, Nigeria has delivered an urgent warning to the United Nations, declaring that the world body risks being sidelined by history if it fails to evolve, modernize and respond in action to most of the contemporary challenges confronting the global community. This was contained in Nigeria's message to the 80th session of the UN General Assembly, delivered by Vice President Kashim Shettima on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigeria's rather strong remark to the UN insisted that global institutions' credibility is being undermined by the gulf between its words and its deeds. Now let's take a listen to State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila's report.
We are here to strengthen the prospects for peace, development, and human rights. Madam President, I want to make 4 points today to outline how we can do this.
Outlining 4 key reform demands, starting with Nigeria's call for permanent UN Security Council membership, emphasizing Nigeria's transformation from a colony of 20 million people, absent from the tables where decisions were taken, to a sovereign nation of over 236 million, projected to be third most populous country in the world.
Nigeria must have a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. This should take place. This should take place as part of a wider process of institutional reform. 2, we need urgent action to promote sovereign debt relief and access to trade and financing. 3, countries that host minerals must benefit from those minerals. And 4, the digital divide must close. As our friend the Secretary General has said, AI must stand for Africa included.
Nigeria also expressed deep frustration with the phase of international progress on critical issues from nuclear disarmament to Security Council reform.
Nigeria's soldiers and civilians carry a proud legacy. We have participated in 51 out of 60 United Nations peacekeeping operations since our independence in 1960. We have stood with our partners in Africa to resolve conflicts, and we continue that commitment today through the multinational joint task force. At home, we confront the scourge of insurgency we resolve from this long and difficult struggle with violent extremism. one truth stands clear.
Nigeria's national statement positioned Africa's natural resources as central to future global stability, emphasizing the need for African control over strategic minerals.
This is why we are not indifferent to the devastations of our neighbors near and distant. This is why we speak of the violence and aggression visited upon innocent civilians in Gaza, the illegal attack on Qatar, and the tensions that scar the wider region. It is not only because of the culture of impunity that makes such acts intolerable, but because our own bitter experience has taught us that such violence never ends where it begins.
Addressing Nigeria's ongoing economic transformation, the president acknowledged the difficult reality facing Nigerians, but said the economic reforms represent a model for resilience.
I'm calling for new and binding mechanism to manage sovereign debt, a sort of international court of justice for money that will allow emerging economies to escape the economic straitjacket of primary production of unprocessed exports.
President Tinubu called for renewed commitment to multilateralism while reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to peace and development. From New York, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Strong and commendable words from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the UN General Assembly. And now back home, 69 communities in 15 states have been alerted to possible devastating flooding in the next 2 days. Now, this alert comes as major dams across the country are spilling excess water, causing water levels in waterways to rise. Let's join Musa Baba Aliu for more details.
This occurs when a dam reaches its full capacity. Spillways are opened to prevent the dam from collapsing. The Goronyo Dam, located in Sokoto State, has a capacity to hold 1 billion cubic meters of water. As the water level rises, authorities have opened the spillways. Excess water could cause flooding in Sokoto, Kebbi and Niger states. Similar incidents are occurring concurrently at the Jaba and Kainji hydroelectric dams in Niger state. Nearby communities at risk of flooding, including Kainji Town, Patigi, Nibusa, Borgu, Mokwa, and other communities along River Niger in Niger and Kwara states. Reports also confirmed that the Shiroro and Zingeru dams are releasing excess water due to heavy rainfall in the area. To this end, 15 states and 69 communities have been put on alert as rainfall intensifies across the country. This information is contained in a statement from the Ministry of Environment's National Flood Early Warning Center. The advisory lists Adamawa, Anambra, Bayelsa, Borno, Delta, Edo, Imo, Kano, Katsina, Ondo, Oyo, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, and Zamfara State as the risk states. Residents, local governments, and emergency response teams are advised to remain vigilant and implement precautionary measures. The ministry emphasized that this alert is part of its ongoing early warning system to reduce risk during the peak rainy season. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
From environment to health, the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, have inaugurated a national interagency working group to address the growing threats of lead poisoning in the country. To combat the crisis, the ministry has provided laboratory equipment in collaboration with Medicine Sans Frontiers to enhance active surveillance and conducted soil remediation and community education. Now, all of these were brought to the fore at the workshop in Abuja, which seeks to finalize and validate the 5-year National Strategic Plan on Lead Poisoning Elimination, with official strategizing the urgency of government response.
To do with prevention on health that will maintain well-being to the grassroots, to the household, using locally available resources.
Rating the urgency of government response, in 2010, Nigeria witnessed outbreaks of lead poisoning in Zamfara State, where over 400 children died and several others disabled. Another outbreak occurred in Niger State in 2015, and more recently in 2024, fresh cases were reported in Zamfara and Sokoto states. Meanwhile, the federal government has declared an all-out war on rabies as part of efforts to meet the global deadline of ending the disease by 2030. Now, this was revealed by the Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, at the Interministerial Press Briefing to mark World Rabies Day 2025. Yusuf Jika reports.
Rabies is a deadly viral disease that affects the nervous system of mammals and humans, usually transmitted through the bite of an infected animal such as dogs, cats, birds, and other wildlife. To commemorate the gravity of this dreaded disease is the reason for this assemblage of experts to foster collaborations that align with global efforts to eradicate the disease.
So rabies is preventable. So that is really, we are aware. So vaccines available, either dog or human, it is available. So how we will use it, how we will...
There's need for zoo curators to pay attention and adopt all the necessary health preventers.
Continue to spread awareness, engaging relevant stakeholders, and see how they can support the ongoing efforts of the government.
Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, said Nigeria is moving fast to end rabies as government will procure 7,000 doses of anti-rabies vaccine for mass dog vaccination and 700 doses of pre-exposure vaccine for animal health workers, among other measures put in place.
The time to act is now. Delaying means more lives lost. Lives of our children, farmers, friends, colleagues, and loved ones.
The World Rabies Day is slated for 28th of September, and the theme of this year's celebration is Act Now, Me, You, and the Community. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika, NTA.
In the meantime, the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, is celebrating the delivery of quadruplets by a beneficiary under its comprehensive emergency obstetrics and neonatal care program. The mother, Hawa Usman, was confirmed with triplets presentation of fetus, but instead delivered quadruplets through a cesarean section at the Federal Ministry of Health Sciences Teaching Hospital, Azare, Bauchi State. NHIA Director General has commended the hospital staff for a safe delivery while congratulating the family, stressing the program's impact in saving lives and protecting families from financial burden. The program, which has benefited 422 pregnant women so far, provides free emergency care for women and newborns in underserved areas. He said this milestone delivery underscores NHIA's commitment to advancing maternal and child health care under the Renewed Hope agenda. And in a healthcare landscape often dominated by doctors and nurses, global attention is today on pharmacists who are commemorating the World Pharmacist Day 2025. Regarded as the last line of defense between a prescription and a patient, pharmacists are considered crucial checkpoints for safety. Earlier today, we were joined on NTA Nationwide by pharmacist, consultant and health sociologist Dr. Abubakar Danraka, who spoke on the critical role and place of pharmacists in Nigeria's healthcare delivery system.
One of the American presidents said clearly and categorically that if the world does not have a pharmacist, we will have created one. That is to say, and that is very clear during the COVID, how pharmacists used their community pharmacy and made medicines availability at the doorstep of citizens, because the pharmacist remains the most accessible healthcare professional globally, not only in Nigeria. It's in the pharmacy you will meet a highly knowledgeable healthcare professional who has the knowledge of the disease, even though the doctor, the physician prescribes based on diagnosis. The pharmacist, having known the knowledge of the use of the medicines, guides the use, because medicine is a poison. If it's not used correctly, then definitely it kills, and it kills the entire community. So the pharmacists remain relevant because he is the custodian and expert of drug knowledge and responsible pharmacotherapy.
We'll take a break now. The news continues in a moment. You're welcome back, and let's bring you up to speed with other news now to legal matters. A magistrate court sitting in Birnin Kebbi State has ordered the arrest of Abdul Hakim Nuhu and El Tadam Exploration for failing to appear before the court after being served 3 times with summons. Jafar Yusuf Illo reports that this development is connected to a case filed by the people of Libata, Kabirwa and Konga in Gaski local government area of Kebbi State, kicking against imposed mining in the areas. The report.
People of Libata, Kabirba and Konga communities in Ingaski local government area of Kebbi State had alleged that El Tahadam Exploration Limited and its director of operations, Abdul Hakim Nuhu, of conspiring sparking tension and disturbing public peace because it wants to mine in the area. They took the matter to court and were summoned for fair hearing to resolve the matter. But the court's effort to summon the defendants, Abdul Hakim Nuhu and El Tahadam Exploration, all failed, leading to the issuance of an arrest warrant.
Since all the necessary steps have been taken, notices, all summonses were served on them, but they failed to respect the order of the court. So that's the reason why this honorable court ordered that they should be arrested so that their attendance will be compelled.
On the last adjourned date, arguments were made, which is actually irregular, because it's an order, it's not an application.
The court had in previous sittings extended an interim injunction restraining Abdul Hakim Nuhu and El Tahadam Exploration Limited from entering the disputed communities. In Birnin, Jafari Zubilo, NTA News.
The Development Bank of Nigeria has restated its role as a partner in national transformation at its 6th annual lecture in Abuja, with the theme Positioning Nigerian MSMEs for Growth in a Dynamic Policy Environment. The forum brought entrepreneurs and stakeholders together to drive new ideas and bold actions for sustainable growth. Moplang Dakok reports.
Africa has an estimated 44 million micro, small and medium enterprises, but their contribution to GDP still lags at about 40%. Managing Director of the Development Bank of Nigeria, Tony Opanachi, says the bank disbursed 1.1 trillion naira, supporting about 700,000 businesses by the end of 2024. But its mission goes beyond funding to also investing in capacity building with the aim of boosting MSME's contribution to Nigeria's GDP.
Yes, there's still more that can be done. The point is, DBM funding is like a catalyst. So while we're providing these wholesale funds to them, we also expect the financial institutions to also lend their own funds. So when we catalyze more funding from them, then the MSMEs will be able to have more access to funding.
President Tinubu's commitment to MSMEs through ongoing reforms was re-echoed at the lecture.
The reforms that have been done has freed up a lot of naira for government to invest at the federal level, state and local government level to invest in infrastructure that people need and that businesses need.
Discussions also highlighted resilience, innovation and consumer-focused strategies as key drivers to scale African businesses.
Being very clear about who you're serving, how you're serving them, where are they? Number 2 is leadership. Are you a good leader? Are you a good team leader? Or are you building businesses that will only depend on us? Will they pass on to the next generation?
Speakers emphasized that the destiny of Nigeria's economy is intertwined with MSMEs and called for stronger policies, better infrastructure and logistics support for them. In Abuja, Moplang Dakok, NTA News.
We'll take a pause here as we join Adiola Kami Akere in our Lagos studio for more news from that axis. Hello, Adiola.
NTA News.
We'll take a pause. Akere in
Jumai. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate Maritime Day, experts are advocating sufficient utilization and protection of ocean resources to guarantee long-term economic gain. Joa Pokbola reports that industry stakeholders believe with the policies initiated by the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Nigeria is now a key player in the global maritime sector.
The ocean plays a vital role in economic activities, providing a transit point for 80% of goods and invariably creating employment opportunities for millions of people globally. With the theme, Our Ocean, Our Obligation, Our Responsibility, World Maritime Day is a call to action putting in the front burner the need to jealously guard the ocean and prevent it from environmental pollution and other forms of abuses that can adversely affect animals and ocean resources.
We have even awoken to the reality of what we can get from the ocean that we're so blessed with in our country. It's a starting point.
The need for zero piracy in the last 3 years.
We need legislation because when we go to the IM that we are celebrating today, the laws must still be domesticated by the member countries.
The policy that set up the Ministry of Maritime and Blue Economy Hub itself is an indicator that, yes, there is indeed real commitment.
As Nigeria targets more relevance in the International Maritime Organization, ending illegal and unregulated fishing and other issues are crucial factors industry players say can boost the rating of Nigeria. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
As part of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, the federal government is tackling the plastic pollution crisis in the maritime sector through its Marine Litter and Plastic Action Plan, aimed at promoting a healthier marine environment in line with global best practices. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy disclosed this during the commemoration of a 2025 World Maritime Day held in Lagos. S.A. Oamaka reports.
Nigeria, the ocean remains the nation's lifeblood, serving as the gateway for more than 80% of its trade, while also being a reservoir of immense biodiversity and resources. In line with this, policymakers and key stakeholders, including the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, converged in Lagos to commemorate the 2025 World Maritime Day. The focus is to drive the implementation of the International Maritime Organization's frameworks in line with global best practices.
The maritime sector is a natural platform for international cooperation, and diplomacy is the strongest anchor. As we confront the challenges of global maritime governance, our partnership will be very essential.
For the chairman of the Senate Committee on Marine Transport, Senator Wasiu Eshilokum, Nigeria's vast maritime endowment presents enormous opportunities for investment, innovation, and growth.
Nigeria's visibility and voice at IMO are not just national aspiration, but a continental necessity.
Strengthening enforcement against piracy, smuggling, and pollution.
We need the right regulatory framework, innovative structures, and the risking mechanisms to enable the private sector to bring in investment.
Young Nigerians were also celebrated for their outstanding performance in an essay competition organized by maritime agencies to mark the occasion. In Lagos, S.A. Owamaka, NTA News.
And we are done with the contributions from Lagos. The network news will continue with Juma in Abuja after this break.
You're watching NTA Network News, and it's time for business. Benny Adams is ready to go. Benny?
Thank you, Jumai. And talking business, Professor Mohamed Mainuma, having produced 120 PhD holders and more than 60 professors, and now 60 years of age, still making impact through training and writing. The academic community of accountants, stockbrokers, tax experts, and friends say building capacity and deploying same is what is needed to marry town and gown with the view of growing Nigeria's economy.
We are in a position to actually develop curriculum that is going to give you both the basic background theories and also the practice that you require to give you the kind of skill to operate optimally.
He has demonstrated that building capacity is key. Without capacity, particularly this management sciences capacity, aligned to technological capacity, we will never be able to answer the Nigerian question of how do we develop our country and sustain that development.
Education is actually the bedrock of any sustainable development that you can think of. Okay, not only quality education, but also education that is relevant.
And now looking at the markets at this time, the Nigerian domestic equities market experienced a strong rebound with the all-share index rising by 0.31%, closing at 141,157.50 basis points. Investors collectively gained 279.35 billion naira, increasing the all-share index market capitalization to 89.34 trillion naira. Looking at South Africa, the Africa Johannesburg Stock Exchange top 40 index experienced a decline today in spite of actively trading shares like Old Mutual Limited, First Edron Limited, as well as Glencore PLC. And from South Africa, we look at the Nairobi, which tracks the overall performance of the Kenya market. Stock market had a positive trading session with the index closing higher at 177.80 basis points. This represents a gain of 0.67 basis points, with total market value of listed stocks increasing by 10.50 billion naira. And away from Kenya, we look at Tunisia. The Tunisia index closed flat, with the value settling at 12,411.34 basis points. That is it on business at this time. Jumai, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Benny. Now, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Homegrown School Feeding Program, Dr. Yetunde Adeniji, has visited Jigawa State to strengthen public-private partnership towards reviving the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. Received at the Government House by Governor Umar Namadi, Dr. Adeniji commended Jigawa's commitment to education and assured that the state would be among the first beneficiaries once the program resumes. Mohammed Musa Al-Kira has details.
Governor Umar Namadi pledged the full support of Jigawa State, noting that the program aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. He emphasized that beyond improving school enrollment and nutrition, the program boosts the local economy by engaging farmers, vendors, and cooks. The governor disclosed that Jigawa has gone beyond the national benchmark by extending school feeding program from primary 1 to 3 up to primary 6, and has already made budgetary provision for 2025 and 2026. Meanwhile, the Abdullahi Mahmoud Foundation that came along with the presidential aid announced plans to commence its 2025-2026 school feeding and uniform distribution in Malamaduri and Kaugama local government areas of Jigawa State, targeting 200 schools and reaching at least 30% of enrolled pupils in the first phase.
We are always ready to key in to Mr. President's agenda. This initiative will be expanded. It requires a lot of sensitization. It requires a lot of... I'm sure there are people that are willing to assist in this. So I'm sure by the time you improve the sensitization, so that at least more people will come in to support the government.
And when we're talking about vulnerable communities, we're talking about children who are in IDP camps, we're talking about children in the Almajiri settings, we're talking about children that are in the most vulnerable setting, poorest of the poor, the market settings. So this partnership goes a long way in also helping to ensure that children are off the streets and back into the classroom. And that is what we brought to Jigawa today.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President, Dr. Adeniji, commended the Jigawa State government for complementing federal efforts in addressing the challenge of out-of-school children, assuring that with such commitments, the program will achieve lasting impacts. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And now politics. 3 months after the immediate past national chairman of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, stepped down, a new political chapter is about to be written in Kano APC chapter. Political correspondent Abubakar Akonga reports that this time around, the former governor of Kano State is leading a high-powered delegation for the support of APC and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu beyond 2027.
The clouds ahead of the 2027 general election may be gradually gathering, but events leading to the political future are fast unveiling, with Kano State former governor and immediate past national chairman of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduji, in the headlines. This time, he is mobilizing stakeholders and other top party loyalists to rally support behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, emphasizing that Kano is for the All Progressives Congress, APC.
We want to assure the people of Kano State that our members will register so that during the election we come out in large numbers so that we can win the election.
We are going to do more to tell the people of our state and indeed the entire northern states what the president is doing and what he has done for our nation. We are solely behind him.
Kano Maiduguri section 1, 2, 3 and 4 almost completed. Kano Katsina project almost completed. And likely in the next 1 to 2 months, Mr. President will come to Kano to lay foundation for the light rail project in Kano State.
The chieftains say the party spirit in the state is high and the general consensus is to bring everyone on board to deepen and expand the party's tentacles and space for more aspiring members to join the party for continuity of the renewed hope agenda beyond 2027. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has extended his warm felicitations to Senator Saliu Mustafa, the Turaki of Ilorin Emirate and the Are Atuloshe of Oro Ago Kingdom on his birthday. In a congratulatory letter to the celebrant, President Tinubu said, Senator Mustafa exemplifies the virtues of humility, loyalty and dedication. President Tinubu believed that in just 2 years in the Senate, the celebrant has distinguished himself as one of the bright lights of the legislature, a loyal party man, a team player and a role model for the younger generation of leaders who seek inspiration in selfless service and commitment to the common good. The president wishes him renewed strength, wisdom and good health for years of fruitful service to the nation. Meanwhile, the president has also congratulated Engineer Benga Komalafe, the pioneer chief executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and interim chairman of the African Petroleum Regulators Forum, on his birthday. President Tinubu joined members of the Komalafe family, friends and NUPRC staff to celebrate the accomplished engineer and lawyer whose 35 years in the oil sector have been characterized by innovation and excellence. Under Engineer Komalafe's watch, the NUPRC has rolled out 24 transformative information on which 19 have been gazetted to operationalize key provisions in the Petroleum Industry Act. As he turns 62, President Tinubu looks forward to more accomplishments in the oil sector and prays that God will grant him more strength, wisdom and fulfillment as he continues his dedicated service to Nigeria. And reports reaching us say 32 kidnapped victims have been rescued in the last 14 days by the Nigerian Armed Forces in ongoing operations across the country. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kanye, stated this at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja, during the bi-weekly update on military operations during the period under review. 63 terrorists were arrested, 16 illegal refining sites recovered and deactivated, while 19 oil thieves apprehended.
Operation is a testament to the determination and resilience of our troops who continue to work tirelessly to secure the nation. The Defense Headquarters commend the bravery and professionalism of the troops involved in all operations and assures Nigerians of its continued effort to ensure the safety and security of our citizens.
Similarly, several caches of arms were recovered and criminal camps destroyed. We'll take another break. We'll be right back. You're welcome back, and Francisca is standing by with news from the sports world. Francisca?
Hello, Jumai. Welcome to Sports Update. All is set for the 2025 Independence Day Golf Tournament at the TYB International Golf Resort and Country Club, Abuja. More than 400 players from within and outside Abuja will be competing in different categories of the tournament in celebration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. Ahead of the tournament, organizers address a press conference in Abuja on Thursday.
As we celebrate this special occasion, let us also remember the sacrifices of our founding fathers and heroes who fought to secure our independence. Their legacy calls us to play our part in building a stronger and a more united.
To volleyball, the cease of the 2025 Comptroller General of Customs Volleyball Premier League delivered pulsating contest and dramatic results in Abuja. In the men's division, Sunshine Spikers shone brightly with a commanding 3-1 victory over Kano Pillars. CNS Spikers swept aside Nigeria Police in straight set, while USM edged out NSCDC in a nail-biting 5-set thriller. The women's category was equally captivating as Anambra Queens stunned Wiki Spikers 3-1. Chief of Army Staff Spikers recorded a dominant 3-0 victory over Kada Queens, while Benue Queens beat Olalumi 3-1. Away from Nigeria, matchday one fixtures of the UEFA Europa League are being concluded this evening with some results in already. Go Ahead Eagles lost 0-1 to FCSB, while Lille beat Brann 2-1. 7 other matches are being rounded off now, with Panathinaikos set to be the biggest winner of the night after whitewashing Young Boys. But as a size of our package, it's back to Jumai.
Thank you, Francisca. And now for the result of our poll. We asked you what threats you look for as most important in a political candidate. 32% of our respondents picked unquestioned integrity and ethics, preferring morals and trustworthiness above all else in a leader. Incidentally, another 32% appears to believe that proven track record is the most important trait they want in a political leader. 20% of our respondents choose clear plans on key issues, focusing on immediate tangible plans for key sectors like the economy, maybe even job creation and other development sectors. And finally, 16% ticked compelling vision for the future, perhaps based on big ideas and ideology as a philosophy for Nigeria's future. And on that note, that's on NTA Network News for tonight. Thanks so much for your time. I am Jumma Yusuf.